Hello everyone and welcome to Drivenmad. Now in today's video, hopefully this will be a nice and quick one, we're going to fix the very common problem on the Fiat 500 and Fiat 500 Abarth. Now, massively written on most forums you'll find to do with these cars are that the door handles go wrong. For some reason they still make them the same. This is a 2012 and the new ones still come with the same fault after X amount of months or years. Now, my passenger side door has this issue. My girlfriend went to get in it and just ripped the handle clean like that, and you can see this end is just flopping about. I'll get a little close-up of that, and it's pretty much just this common little hinge here. Now, if I show you that, you can see here this little hinge attaches to the car and the door handle, and it also comes with a little bit of plastic with a thread on and a little screw. Now what this does is over time just seizes up, so I will be nicely greasing this and I will do it on the old side that I'm not changing as well to try and prevent this from happening. So what we'll do is move in and start dismantling the car to get this in. Okay, so the first thing we've got to do is remove the door card. Now this is fairly simple. There's one screw behind the door handle here, and there's two screws behind this little tab of plastic. So you need a little pry tool. I recommend a plastic one so you don't scratch any of your trims. There we go. Right, that comes off there. Put that to the side. And now this little devil just pops off, see there, like so. Okay, now behind here is just a size 5 Allen key. There we are, there's the third one out. Now some models, I think the USA spec models, come with, sometimes there's two little plastic hole covers here and you have two screws on the end, but mine is the Euro spec and doesn't have those two. So just before you go ripping it off, check that you haven't got two screws here or any nearer the bottom. So what we'll do is get my trusty pry tool and I'm going to just get that in there and just delicately start popping. Now there's enough room in there for me to get my fingers in, and I'm going to hold the door and just pull. There's the bottom. As you can see by my facial expressions, I'm a bit nervous at this. There we go. And now I've just got to work my way around the sides because the bottom's off. There we go. There we go, and the top should just pop off as well. There we go. Right, now we're in here, we've got a little bit of wire cable that attaches the door handle. Now I'll move the camera in and show you how to remove that. Now behind here, let's see, you can see that right there. That's it. There's a little clip that you pull to get this to pop out. You see there's like a little clip, and then on this piece of plastic there's a tiny little switch that you sort of flick to get off, and then that comes out like that. Fiats are a bit annoying. They've got this one sort of one-hit wonder design with this horrible, very weak stuff. You can see when I did the speakers, I taped it up to try and preserve a bit of it because it is a tiny bit of sound deadening, but I'm going to have to go back through. So where the door handle is going to be somewhere around here. So these pieces of tape I'm going to tape off and hopefully get a little bit more access. Now if yours hasn't been butchered like mine has, you can just cut a little hole in to get to the screw back here. Right, now moving on in to the end of the door, if I zoom in there, look, you can see there's a little nut right there. And a lot of you might be thinking there's a red, why is there red paint? I believe it's had a new door on this car, so this isn't the original, but you can see there, I think that's a size 10. Let's check it out. Right, so it is a trusty size 10, so we'll get that on and we'll just slightly break that loose. There we go. Right, so moving on to the end of the door, we've got this one extra bolt. Now I'll be using a T30 for this. I don't know, this one fits in mine, I'm not sure. The bolt looks like it's been taken out before. Looks slightly rounded, so yours may be slightly different, but this is what fits in mine. So we will just undo that all the way. Surprisingly long little bolt, there we are. Right, now when replacing these, I did think about just replacing the whole door handle, but as I've read online, they're actually quite fiddly jobs, and you've got to obviously undo all the inside. The actual locking bar you have to take off, and they're also a very snug fit. So what I'm going to do is wiggle this. You can see there, I've pulled that, and that's come off. Now what I think I'm going to do is just put some tape around here, just in case I slip or scratch the car. But you can see there it's completely sheared off, so the actual flip bit isn't there, it's still inside the door handle, and that's what we've got to unscrew. Yeah. Right, so I wonder why this wasn't moving, and you can see actually I just gave it a little slide forwards and it's just literally popped out. I know if I pull...
It has been glued.
Yeah, if you pull the handle, it comes down and out a tad more. There we go. There we go. Right, so that is now hanging as such. So I'm going to keep Dad to hold it for a sec, and I'm going to get a little stubby screwdriver and try and get that out. Right, now inside we've got a tiny little Phillips screw, which I'm just going to use a stubby screwdriver to take out. There it is. And in there is our hinge. So you can see that's a little rubber protector, and that goes like so. Right, so here we just got a little show and tell. You can see there that the pin on the new one moves, this one does not, and that's where the little flip out bit would be, and it's completely corroded itself shut in there, and I can't move that at all. So we're going to nicely grease this joint before it goes into the car, because once it's in the handle there's not going to be great access. Right, nice little bit of grease on there, and that's ready to be reinstalled. Now we're going to put it in open like it is. So if you take that screw, I'll try not to get too messy, but I think it's good. So you can see we're going to put it in like that. There it is, and that slots back in.
I moved this screw because I thought it was a wood one.
Oh, did you?
You'd left it about.
Now what we're going to do is get the screw, and if you could get me the little stubby one, we're going to get that screw roughly back into position. And I'm just going to I can't stay loose.
It's junk, isn't it, I'm afraid.
Hang on, it's coming back out.
I think you're over hopeful. Well spotted.
Right, let's get that back in. Now, I got this kit from Amazon, so if you've got a broken screw, maybe I'll have to go and find another one. But we're going to reuse the old screw. Let's put that one in there.
Oh,
that's
well
it.
Spotted, sir.
Nice and tight.
Can I spray that?
You can do whatever you like. Joint is greased, so that's nice and easy. Now you see here the bit my dad's greasing. This little metal tab here, actually when you pull this part of the handle out, goes down, so it makes it easier to come in and out. So if you pop it out and you can't get it back in, try pulling the actual mechanism here out, and it will make it smaller to go back in. Now we're going to close this off, and we're also going to pull this and pop it back into place. So you can see it's a bit fiddly.
I'll let you scratch your own door.
Yeah, I've got to say, this has got to be one of the worst designs ever.
Nice to use though.
What, the handle?
Yeah, when it's on, when it works.
There we go. Now,
you definitely want the masking tape on. That was a great idea.
Make sure that the hinge is folded, and that goes back in like so. And now it's time to get the side screw in and the size 10 nut on there. Right, just before I screw it down, I'll take the tape off so nothing gets stuck underneath. Nut back in. So what that will do is pull the handle back. There we go. Now just snug that up, don't go too mental. Right, now as my dad just pointed out, you can see there's a nice gap there, which looks incorrect, but as you pull, the door handle obviously hinges on this bit, and as you pull that out, this has to rotate so it doesn't dig into the metal. I have figured that one out.
And an idiot like me didn't know.
No. So, we're going to get this size 10 back on. Now I'm going to put a tiny bit of medium thread locker on here, because it's going to rattle about quite often, so I'm going to get a little bit of that on there. Nice and simple. Snug that down, don't go too mental, because right, so to get this all back in is exactly the reverse procedure as it was to take it off. It's time for the moment of truth. Handles on. Well, it works. There we are. Nice. Just wipe off all that excess grease and we're finished.